In the letters lab, we're going to have to switch gears a little bit so that we can accept a string word. And I've put a little bit of code in here to help you with this, so we don't need the user to give us a number any longer. All we'll have to do is just uncomment these lines that I had put in place for you earlier. Okay, so now we're going to prompt the user for a word. That word will be stored in a string named word. And now our goal is to display the letters of the word, one per line. So anytime you want to get one letter of a word, a substring is a good way to do it. Substrings, if we're going to take the first letter of the word, we want to begin at index 0. So I'll write a for loop that will initialize my loop index variable I to 0, and then that'll be the basis of the first substring that I take. If I take the substring I, comma, I plus 1, it'll be 0, 1, and I'll get the first string. I'll come back to the control expression in a second, and I'm going to let I get bigger so that I move across the string from left to right. Now, if you want to just print the letter immediately, that's fine. What we could do is we could actually set up a temporary string here named sub, and I would take word, use my substring method, I, comma, I plus 1, like we've seen before. Okay, that's going to give me a one-letter substring, and the value of I is going to progress its way across the string, one index at a time. So the first time through, I'll take the substring 0, 1, and I'll get the first letter of the string. The next string would be 1, comma 2. That'd be the second letter, 2, 3, so on. Okay. And then what I could do is I could just say out.print. I'll use a println method since we want one letter per line, and I'll print sub. When the loop reaches the closing brace and comes back up to the control expression, that temporary string value will be lost. And then we'll get a brand new one the next time through, and we'll print that. I've put the print statement back into the loop now because we're repeatedly printing. We're not waiting till the end to give our answer. We're going to print one letter on each pass of the loop. Okay, so the control expression, what do we put there? Well, remember the rule for substring. Okay, the biggest number allowed to go into a substring is the length of the string. So this control expression is going to be based off of the length of the string. Okay. Well, how is it based off of that? Well, two numbers are going into the substring, I and I plus 1. Clearly, I plus 1 is bigger than I. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that I plus 1 does not exceed the length of word. Okay? If I can guarantee that every value that comes out of the I plus 1 expression is never going to go past this length, I will never go out of bounds. So if you tried this one earlier on your own and you're getting some out of bounds expressions, it was probably something to do with that control expression. Okay, so it makes sense out of how I'm writing this. I'm saying never let this number become bigger than this number. Okay, so let's see if this works. We'll rename this one letters. Okay, so when we run, let's try a word like computer, and we get one letter per line. And also very important to note that we got the very first letter, okay, we got the very last letter, didn't miss anything in between. Our loop didn't start too early, didn't start at the wrong index, and didn't go out of bounds, didn't get any errors.